Righto, good afternoon, or good evening I should say, as it's getting close to 4 o'clock now. You join us on the 5th of October and we got a big brownish dirt rut through the paddock here. This is a fire break. Yeah, I know, I didn't film fire breaks this year. There's a small reason for that. One, it was raining. Two, I needed to catch up on some other stuff, and we got it all done. But we're out here in the ram paddock today because we need to gather up all 20 of our boys over there. We need to run them into those sheep yards and we need to sort them out because tomorrow we're taking the cull rams, 5 of them, off to Muchea to be sold. Righto, so this morning's plan. We got the rams in last night. Dad drafted off the 5 culls as well as our 4 Corrick boys, which is collectively the name of the rams that we got from up north near Minganoo. We got them in the yards. We're going to shear the new rams and then we're just going to double check to make sure that we've actually got all the actual cull rams together, because it would be a terrible mistake to send one of the actual good ones off. But right now what we're going to be doing, we're setting the gates up so that we can go get the ewes and lambs in. We need to draft the Wether lambs off from the ewe lambs. We need to needle them, we need to drench them, we need to give their selenium cobalt bullets to the ewe lambs anyway. And yeah, essentially the cull ewes are going to be taking care of the Wether lambs, and the ewe lambs, they will be joining our keeper ewes as well as their sisters out the paddock. So yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's what we're going to be doing. Righto, so 9 of 20 rams are in the yards today. All the others have gone back out in the paddock. Now, of course, you can see the ones with wool. These are what we call them the Corrick rams because we bought them off John Corrick up near Minganoo. The others, which have blue marks, they are unfortunately going to be leaving the farm today. So we got the trailer over there. Next plan of attack is to sort the rams out. We'll deal with you boys later. Now the rams that are our culls, they've been on the farm for, well, the yellow tags. I think there's 2 yellow tags. There's 2 yellow tags and 3 red tags. All of these are Shearing rams. The yellows we bought in our first year on Erin Vale, and the reds, we bought them the same year as Murray because Murray's a red tag as well. Now this is a process unfortunately we have to do pretty much every year on our farm, where we go through our rams, we sort out which ones to keep and which ones to sell so we can have new genetics coming in to our flock, because, well, as we know, sheep like to bang, and you don't want the fathers of the lambs, you don't want the fathers of the ewe lambs to be banging the ewe lambs, if you get what I mean. We want new blood coming in. Now, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to 6, we have to say goodbye to 20, we have to say goodbye to Mr. Yellow Tag as well, purely because, well, they've started to develop hip problems and wool problems as well.
Yeah, the red tags have got wool problems, the yellow tags have got feet issues.
I mean, it's sad to see them go, as they've been with us for a while now. They've given us about, well, the yellow tags gave us 3 drops of lambs, while the reds only gave us about 2. But them's the breaks. we want to improve our wool quality, and we also need to improve our feet on our sheep as well. So that means we had to buy those 4 rams over there. They will be taking up the mantle from the culls, and the culls will be joining us on a road trip to Muchea. So without further ado, we'll see you over there. Yeah, speaking of, the ram lambs are just chilling in the fire break, 3 of them are. Really quick crop watch. Most of the oats are starting to come into ear now. Unfortunately, they're stunted in growth, as we say. The barley's coming into ear as well, but as we said from day one, we knew we were going to plant the crop late, so our yield was not going to be great, and as a result, the barley, small grains. So we won't be getting a lot in the header box this year. That's all right, we expected this.
Ground security.
So some people may be wondering where exactly we're going to take the rams. This, when I'm talking about Muchea, this is Muchea, the Waimea Livestock Centre. This is basically WA's largest livestock sale yard. Bigger than Minginoo, bigger than Katanning, bigger than all the other smaller sale yards all across the state. This is where the big auctions are held, and when we have a big order of lambs or wethers that's not going directly to the abattoirs, this is where they're going. So they'll be going to auction, and the highest bidder, be it in the domestic market, so the abattoirs, or the international market, which is where the live export boats would have come in before the phase out got announced and all that jazz, and they haven't brought the boats back. This is where they go. You can see all the loading pens and unloading stuff. This side is for cattle, the other side is for sheep.
They unload the cattle this side, reload them this side after the auction. They reload the sheep that side after the auction.
So they come in to be auctioned off. They're all put in their different pens. Sometimes they're drafted, it really depends. And then at the end of the auction, whoever's the highest bidder, they get the truckies to come along and load up the trailers and take them off again. Right, so the rams are all unloaded. By the time you see this video, they'll be long gone, as the sale is tomorrow at the time of recording this, but this video will probably go out 2 weeks from now, so yeah, we're behind on time again. Yeah, that's basically, yeah, we had to say see you to the rams. They're over there now. Auctions tomorrow. We'll find out how much we'll get for them when I pick up the camera next, and yeah. It is a difficult thing of letting go of livestock, but that's the hard part about farming, is letting go of the things that you worked hard, so very hard to raise and nurture and tend to, even if they are fucking Merinos and behave like shit at the best of times. But yeah, that's what you gotta do. Sheep, hello, good morning, we're back again. Good morning, welcome to Wednesday. We are back in the shearing shed, and it's shearing again. Yay, more shearing content. Okay, so you've seen us do the lamb shearing. Lamb shearing is in the books, it's all done, but we still need to do our big girls. Starting with the blue tags. These are the keeper blue tag ewes. Say hello, girls. You've seen us shear all of them last year, I do believe, when they were still weaners. Now they've successfully raised a lamb each. All of these ones have. All the culls that lost the lamb, they all went on a truck off elsewhere, sold as breeders. So the mission today is to shear all of these girls. I think there's 75 of them in total, if that is correct. You've seen our process with shearing the lambs, how we just did it on the floor and then we whacked it straight in the press. We're going to be using the wool skirting table a lot more today. I'm not sure if I'll be able to film it all because my SD card is getting full. I need to sit down and make time to edit videos. Probably should have done that yesterday, but anyway, we've got these girls to shear. We're going to try and get them all done today, send them back out the paddock, and then I suppose we'll need to get the other mob from Racetrack East in and do all those. Weather-wise, there's no real time crunch, but the real time crunch is Dad's starting his new job on Monday, so yeah, we need to get it all done before then. And there's at least, well, there's 75 of these girls, plus another 200 and something. Another 200 and something after these. So, yeah, we got a lot of work to do. Also, one more thing before we get stuck into the time-lapse. I know that in time-lapse mode, it's got this stupid flickering thing with these UFO lights. It doesn't do that in this recording mode because I've managed to figure out the toggle switch to make the anti-flicker turn on. That's the reason why these lights over here no longer have that flickering issue as much. Channel members, in case you haven't realised, we've still only got one channel member at the time of recording this. Phil Smith, who has kindly become my one and only combine cropper at the moment. If you want to join Phil as a combine cropper or a rookie farmhand, you can find the join button next to the subscribe button down below. There's 2 tiers, one's $11.99 or something. Basically, if you want to see me work on some better content and upload more frequently, please do consider subscribing to the channel members. Your support will ensure that we will have more funds to be able to justify doing what we're doing on Erin Vale a lot more often than not. Come on, girls. Alright, you got to turn around again. Come on, get over, Bindi. Get over. Good girl. And that's a bit rough and tumble. That's not what we usually do. It's the ewes that do that. But yeah, as Dad was just saying, we don't need to drench these. We don't need to needle, scratch them or anything like we have with the lambs. The whole reason why we were doing that earlier is because the alternative to doing that is getting the lambs into the race outside and they pile on top of each other. You got to remember that a sheep's whole purpose as a lamb is to try and die and do it the most effective way possible. Our job as the farmer is to try and raise the sheep to the adult stage so they don't die, if that makes sense. And that's the reason why we were doing it in the shed, so it's less work for us in the long term and there's less chance of a lamb succeeding in their mission to die. Anyway, here's some shearing content. So as you've seen there, that's basically the whole process of shearing. I hope I sped that up on the video there, otherwise you'd have to sit through 5 odd minutes. Dad likes the time-lapse mode because it makes him shear faster. So, as I was stating earlier on, fleeces like this one, that is the reason why we need a new ram. Because as you're seeing at the moment, it's not touching much. So as I was mentioning earlier on this year about the wool press up here some scales, currently it's got 71 in there. I think that's because it's the ram's wool. If we put this in here, guess how much it would weigh? Probably not a lot.
That's tender as.
Yeah, that just happens to be a tender one, so that goes into that bag. So I know some of you have been asking me, when are we going to see Noah shear? Right now, actually. Come on, come on. Come on. That way.
You dragged it too fast.
And that's probably as far as I'm gonna get. I'll leave the shearing to the professional. Yous don't like me dragging them out, so yeah, I'll stick to this instead. Let's try this again. What about this great big monstrosity of a fleece I'm holding here? Oh, who am I kidding? This isn't nearly the largest fleece compared to some of the rams, but how much do you think this would weigh? Let's find out. if the scales are roughly correct, and we started on 71 kilos, it's gone up to 74 now. So, yeah, that's putting us roughly 3 kilos. Now, that's not a lot. And Merinos are supposed to be the good wool sheep. To get the good wool, sure, we're getting good print, we're getting good length, but we need the weight, because the weight helps to bring in the big bucks. So that's our biggest flaw. There's no weight in the wool. What do we do about it? Well, that's where the new bought-in rams come into play. Right, so it's almost morning, Smoko. Now we've got one pen of about 5 that we had in here this morning. Well, one's been shorn, there's 4 left. There's some more woolies that I brought in from outside. The backs are looking good, but down the sides is a bit trickier to know because they won't let me touch them. And when I do touch them, they get really all over the shop. So here's a good look at our wool. It's all nice and bright, as you'd expect. The problem is, yeah, a lot of it's tender. We've got the micron there, we've got the length, but weight and the density is not there. And what I mean by density is, this is our tender bay. And as you can see, all these strands of wool here. You want to have your fleece have a bit more wool strands than this. Because if it's not dense, then it doesn't hold together. It's a bit like a crop with the spacings that I was mentioning on air seeders and stuff. If your spacing is too wide, so say for example like a row crop planter or something, if the spacing between the wool strands is too wide on the fleece, then it doesn't hold together and it falls to bits, making it not the greatest for fibre, which is clothes. Something like this jacket I'm wearing right now. Right, so you join us in the afternoon. We've got 107 kilos in the press now. This is all the ram's wool, plus the blue-tag wool that's long enough and sound enough to go in the press. Not much, considering that we have 75 to do and we've got about 22 left, if the math's correct. 107 in here. But we've also got this bay full of very short wool, and this bay of all over the shop tender wool. And then on top of that, we've got all those bales behind there. It's going to be interesting to find out how many bales we'll end up with. Dad was hoping that Rob, our wool buyer, would come to take them away, but he hasn't yet. He's going to do that on the way down to Perth in about a couple of weeks or so time, maybe. But yeah, this is the final run. We'll get them all done, send them back out the paddock, and then we'll get the next mob in. Good afternoon. You join us in October. I do believe today is October the 9th or 8th or 9th. It's the first full week of October and we need to get down to the sheep yards because we need to discuss the sheep and our wethers. When it comes to sheep farming, especially when it comes to breeds like your Merinos or your prime lines, weight is a very important factor to consider. There's two types of weights that we really need to worry about. First of all is the weight of your wool. So like your scales, as you can see on our wool press over here, this tells us how much weight is in our wool that goes into our wool bales, which we sell for money. The other weight is the weight of the actual sheep, so your live weight, and that is what we're going to be doing today. Now, this is filmed before this week's video goes out, so I'm not sure if the final thing's going to have it or not, but in the footage that I took over the past couple of weeks, I mentioned all these Wether lambs and the ewes over there. These are our culls, and basically what we're doing with them, the reason why we're culling them all off is because A, we need more space to work with on the farm for the rest of our sheep. B, the pastures need fixing, and C, Project Racetrack, which again we'll get to eventually. But Wether lambs. Now, these are our Wether lambs. They've been drafted off from the ewe lambs. The ewe lambs are out with our keeper ewes and Racetrack East. All of these boys, they're in the scales today for a worm drench. And we've got the tractor there, we've got the gator here, and this futuristic piece of technology right here, the Rudway scales. So, as Wether Lamb 216 here is demonstrating, this is what we call a lot.
So I've drawn a diagram over here. Look at me go, I'm doing illustrations now because I realised that I was not doing a very good job when we actually had the camera out there. So to start with, we've got our scale over here in the green, the blue marks the doors, the black marks, again, the trigger from the pressure plate to the doors. Over here we have our sheep. So, it's meant to be a Merino, but I do realise that it looks more like a turtle than a sheep. So, okay, we're ready to go. It's all plugged in. It's plugged into the battery that sends it to the computer. Now what? We open this door, so the door's now open. The sheep goes in. The sheep wanders in, triggers the pressure plate. Bam, the door shuts. And now we've got the battery over here that's hooked up to the cables underneath the Rudley scales, which then sends it to the computer. The computer does its thing, triggers all a bunch of numbers, 47. Righto, so now we know how much old mate over here weighs. Now, the scale's all done, it's written down. What's next for our mate here? Over here we've got our farmer dude who pulls back one lever over here to open the doors. The pressure plate's still triggered and old mate goes out. We push him out and then pressure plate, it goes back up again when we open this lever and the cycle repeats. So yeah, that's basically my illustration of what it looks like to weigh a sheep.
Once the Wether lambs are drenched, they come up here, this door shuts, and basically the weight of the lamb is recorded here. Now this is a pretty old piece of technology, that's why I'm saying it's futuristic when it's far from it.
Have you written it down?
Yep, this dates back from the 1990s, so it's not exactly the greatest at saving and recording stuff. As you can see, this one's 42 kilos, so he's a pretty heavy boy. So I'm recording it all on my phone at the moment. Alright, so we're slowly getting into a rhythm. Dad's drenching while I'm slowly running some up. This fine specimen here is what we want as a good example of what a fat Wether lamb should look like. Look at that, 47 kilos. I want to know who this one's mum is because she did a very good job raising him. Right, so we've weighed half of the Wethers. Look at this. Look at this feed. It's not as luscious and green as it is over in Victoria from what I've seen in Tara's video or other parts of the world, but look at this. It's feed. Now, mind you, this is the best part of the farm, so of course there's got to be feed, but we've got the self-feeder over there. It's still got pellets left from the start when the reject flock were in here a couple of months ago. But yeah, we're on the gator at the moment. We're just going to go around, shut these gates, lock the culls and wethers up in boar paddock. Then we need to go run the girls, start running them home. Look at this feed. Look at this. Look at this. We got We got some ceradella, and a bit of clover down there. It's taking off. This is in our middle paddock right away. This is one of our sandier paddocks. This is exactly why we need to rest our paddocks, to let this set seed for next year, just to let it grow tall. But again, as I say, we need to fertilize this to make, instead of, okay, it's a little bit short, it's like up to my boot here, but put some fertilizer over this. What do you get? Tall feed. That's what we need. But that's beside the point. Let's keep going. Bindi! So, based on around half of the Wether lambs that we weighed today, I do apologise for the wind noise if it's coming into the camera. Based on the weight scales, our biggest Wether lamb was a whopping 47 kilo. That's roughly the weight of our 4 ram lambs. That's around about what they'd weigh. We don't know for sure. We'll probably need to bring them in to check. Our largest, 47 kilos. Our lightest, 28.5. I think the average was around 37 kilo across the lot. So, well, if that's what the Wether lambs are weighing, then the ewe lambs would be not too far off the beaten track as far as weight goes. That is a good sign. And as a matter of fact, Dad said to me, he said that it's a bit more than what he imagined. So, yeah, it's looking up. But to get those weights even higher, we need better feed. That's the aim for next year, as well as Project Racetrack. But anyway, that's beside the point. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Saturday. Yep, Saturday. Today is Saturday. We're approaching the middle of October now, and we are going back into the shed again. More shearing content, yay. Don't worry, this will be the last. We'll be in the shearing shed for this year. We're getting the keeper ewes in. We've got them in. We've done about 26 yesterday, and well, we've got at least another 170 left to go, but we've got over 200 ewes that needed to be shorn as of yesterday. So now we're going to spend today and the majority of tomorrow getting them done. Now, as you can see, I'm wearing the chesty today. We are going to have some more shearing shed chest cam footage. I won't talk all that much during it. It's just going to give you a look of what it's basically like in the shearing shed when the camera's not necessarily on and I'm just getting on with the job. We've got these ewes over here. We had them camp in the shed last night. Hello, girls. This mob consists of purple tags, yellow tags, and red tags. The blue tags, well, we are keeping some blue tags, but maybe they'll all be gone by the end of next year. We'll wait and see. The majority of the wool in these 2 bays here, this wool is tender, it doesn't hold together and the fleece comes apart. And this pile over here is the short wool, so that's not long enough to go into the press. This wool, the majority of this has come from the blue tags. Keeping in mind that I think this bale had the ram's wool in. That's basically what we're doing. So in other words, Dad brings out the sheep, shears it, throws the fleece onto the ground. We're going to be interchanging between Dad and myself, throwing the wool onto the table. I will go and skirt it. The skirtings will go into here. This is the pieces bin. And then we'll test the strength of the wool. If it's good enough, if it's long enough, it goes into the press. Right, I think that's all the context you need to know. Let's get into it. Let's sound. Yep. This. To press. Ooh. Sounding a bit tired today, are we, Press? Perfect opportunity to do a chest POV or throw in a fleece. Grab it leg there, grab it leg there, bring it over and and that's the reason why you don't tend to see me throwing fleeces, because it's bloody difficult. And that's right there?
No. There, yes, there.
There. Again, another reason why I don't tend to throw the fleeces. I was throwing the Muchea yesterday, I'm not sure why it was. But anyway. Righto, so it's past Muchea now. These are the woolies that are left in the yards over there. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera or not, but I can certainly see the rams. They're over there teaching the ram lambs how to sniff out girls. Or at least they were. I think that's Murray over there chatting up his ladies. Shawnees are there. They're going to be let out in back lines at lunchtime, I do believe. But for now, we're just trying to get these girls up. Come on, ladies. Come on. Come on, girls. Don't stop now. Come on. Push, 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 push. Up, 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 up. Come on. We got room. Have we got room? It would help if we had this gate shut. Around the corner. Come on. Come on, girl. Yeah. That would do us. And so shearing has come to an end for 2025. We finished them on Sunday, yesterday. Today's Monday at the time recording this. We've officially caught up. That's pretty good going, actually, all things considered. I do believe this video is going to run for about 35 minutes or so, so we're right at the end now. Next time, what we're probably going to be doing is we are going to be sorting all of this shit out, moving this baler out the way to get to the hay bine. It's some really exciting shit coming up. Yes, I'm swearing now because, well, I'm excited, you can tell. Shearing's done. We got a pile of wool still in the shed. We got mount tender, we got mount short wool that we got to put into bales. I think we got about 3 bales of 3 AM off the keeper ewes alone. And of course, everything's starting to come into ear and stuff. The crop over there, that's coming into ear. I don't really know how to finish this off, so yeah. Once again, thanks again to my channel member, Phil, for showing his support for the channel, my one and only channel member. If you want to join the combine croppers or rookie farm hands, there's some perks in there. There is some perks. We've got some exclusive, never before seen videos and stuff that have been sitting on my hard drive doing nothing, that I thought I'd flick up there for the channel members. If you want to see all of that, if you want to see some never before seen shit, go check that out. And yeah, all right, till next time, like, subscribe, hype if that's a thing. I'm not sure if it is. Any comments or questions, let me know down below, and yep, I'll see you in the next one. Happy farming, people.